Our first round of public comment. I just invite everyone to come up. We'd ask that when you come up that you give your name and where you live. Don't have to give you a complete address, just the development.
Okay, Frank McCarron, Delancey Court, Newtown Township. I would like to make some comments regarding the proposed Newtown Gun Show. I know we talked about it last time. The reason I'm bringing it up, though, I'll explain. So, the owner of the Newtown Athletic Club, Jim Worthington, was recently on a podcast hosted by Dom Giordano, where they discussed the upcoming gun show. I believe Mr. Worthington said that he had a right to rent out space for the gun show while he was appealing the zoning violation, as the event had already been scheduled. I do not know if the township agrees with this position. However, Mr. Worthington announced on this podcast that he was nevertheless postponing the gun show as a show of good faith to the township while he appealed the zoning violation. The reason why I'm bringing this up today is that I went on the website of the show organizer, Eagle Shows, and this gun show is still on their calendar. I have a printout that I will give to you. I also have a printout from another website, igunshows.com, that as of today is still promoting this event. I would like to know if anyone from the township has spoken with Mr. Worthington to confirm that he was postponing the gun show, and if the township has not spoken with him, could someone from the township contact Mr. Worthington and find out what are his intentions? If he has postponed the gun show, I would ask the township to ask Mr. Worthington to ask Eagle Shows to remove the show from their list of upcoming events and notify the businesses that are continuing to advertise the show. I also read the zoning violation notice that was sent to this business. It seems to me that Mr. Worthington, if he wanted to, could host this gun show even if the appeal were denied, though he would be subject to a $500 fine. I would like to request that the township confirm with Mr. Worthington that if his appeal is denied, that he will respect that decision and not, in fact, rent out this space to the organizer of the gun show. Otherwise, this offer to postpone the event pending the appeal is not the show of good faith to the township that some of us had in mind. I would also like to talk about the size of the show and what it means in terms of traffic and safety. The advertisement for the gun show, which I'll show to you, indicates that there will be 350 display tables at this show. I don't know how many people work at each table, but if it's one person per table, that would mean 350 people working at the show. That begs the question, does the township know what size crowd that would bring? For example, does an event like this average 10 persons per table, which would mean 3,500 people coming to the show? I believe the residents of the township have a right to know what is the township's protocol in general, and what it will do here in particular in terms of traffic and safety when a large event is being held in the township, or for that matter, in the borough, as everyone has to pass through the township, as well as who bears that cost. You may also be aware that there was an article, I believe on Sunday, in the Bucks County Beacon talking about this gun show. This article appears to be saying that this whole controversy can be traced back to a gun dealer from outside of Bucks County who purportedly posted a flyer on the Newtown, Pennsylvania Facebook page. And the article seems to say that the gun dealer had or has a view that the resulting hubbub would draw attention to the Newtown Gun Show and bring more buyers. Looking at the flyer from this light, I for one feel like we have all been played. I personally had seen this flyer and I took a screenshot of it on my phone before the last Board of Supervisors meeting. And unfortunately, if the point of this gun dealer was to generate more attendance by generating controversy, then the township has to be prepared for incidents of controversy during this show. If this event goes forward, I, for one, would like to see an increased police presence in the township, and for that matter, in the borough. My concern is not that anyone in particular will be coming to this gun show looking for trouble, but there may be some who come here ready for trouble, and the township needs to be ready. And in hindsight, I feel that as a township, we should take a step back and see what can be learned from this experience. Is there anything that the township could have done differently to get out ahead of a controversial event like this. For one thing, I recall that eConsult had recommended that the township raise its fees, and so maybe higher fines are in order. That would certainly incentivize business owners to interact with the township on an earlier basis. eConsult had also recommended hiring a full-time code enforcement officer. This position was not filled because eConsult had budgeted zero revenue from this position, but maybe that needs a second look. And at the same time, I think Mr. Worthington should take a step back and look at what he might have done differently. Mr. Worthington has built the Newtown Athletic Club into a very valuable business, and I support within reason the NAC or any other business looking for creative ways to raise additional revenues. I used to go to the Surround Cycle on Richborough Road, and COVID restrictions put that out of business. As a result, I bought a Peloton, so even if it came back, I would not be going back. But at the same time, Mr. Worthington said on the podcast that he allows his athletic director to decide what events to book, and he did not even know that a gun show was booked. If I were advising Mr. Worthington, I would encourage him to give thought to how a controversial event might negatively affect the image of his NAC brand, and I would recommend that he set parameters for his athletic director in order to protect his brand. And I also note that if the NAC had filed for the appropriate zoning permit, perhaps this matter would have been resolved without even reaching this stage. I believe that Mr. Worthington should also be concerned about how users of his event space promote their events, particularly in a subcontractor situation like this, where Eagle Shows is in turn renting the event space to other parties, such as the gun dealer who posted the flyer on the Newtown Facebook page. So whatever happens with this appeal, I hope that all the parties take a step back, take stock of what happened, and develop something positive from this experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Good evening.
John DeApril, Newtown Grant. Biggest and the best. It's nice to wish. I wish that these crybabies wouldn't come up here and talk about people. The man's right down the road. If you call him, he may answer your call. Of course, he's used to talking to whiny crybabies, but, maybe he won't take your call. Somebody from his facility will answer him and give him all his answers. So they answer all his questions, and, then he can go back to his $1 million house and do whatever he does, play solitaire or whatever. But, I hate to see one of Johnny Maximilian's come up here and badmouth the township and badmouth one of our biggest employers in the township. And then you got this simple guy up there snickering and all that stuff. But, call a guy up. He'll talk to you. I'm sure most of you people talk to him already on different occasions, maybe not for this one. But, whatever you decide to do, whatever is the law, the man owns a lot of property, and, he rents his facility out for certain things. And, if it's legal, hey, there's no way to stop him. Oh, and besides, most of the townships around here have gun shops. As far as I know, there's none in Newtown. Langhorne, Bristol, Scott Mendy, Levittown, whatever township falls, or Middletown, they all have gun shops. We don't have any that I know of. And what's all the big complaints? If the crybabies would know who goes to a gun show and how many people they have and any incidents where they had problems at gun shows, I'm sure they had some problems, because anything you do, you hold a rally for peace and you have problems sometimes. But, look into these things instead of getting up here and whining like a baby. Thank you.
That is. I agree with him completely. That is outrageous. Calling somebody up here a crybaby who's rendering an opinion is just unacceptable. And anyway, maybe you are too. My name is Greg Sarnota.
Please, gentlemen.
I'm from Newtown Grant.
One at a time.
And whatever he said about crybabies is ridiculous, as far as that's concerned. That's the only thing I have to say about this. The gun show is going to be what it's going to be. I do believe we're gonna need extra cops, maybe state police, depending on how big this event's gonna be. Are they selling tickets, giving tickets? Is there a school down the road that maybe shouldn't be around a gun show? Is there anything like that? We're looking at it that way. Well, we don't call people names. Thank you.